be successful, crossing all the obstacles in life, crossing all the confusions in life, we must approach a teacher. So that's why chapter 2, verse number 7, here we learn from the behavior of Arjuna that whenever there is an attack of confusions, when our intelligence is encroached, at that time we should go to a coach. So that's chapter 2, verse number 7. Okay. So now the next sutra. Matter does not matter. What matters is spirit. Okay. Matter does not matter. What matters is spirit. And the lesson is coming from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse number 13. And this verse is mentioned like this: Dehino yasmin yatha dehe kaumaram yovanam jara tata dehantara praptir dhira satrana muhyati. As the embodied soul continuously passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. A sober person is not bewildered by such a change, which means death is a comma. Death is not a full stop. Death is just a comma. It is not a full stop. So Lord Krishna is saying that how the soul transmigrates from one body to another body. Once we realize this, we see that we become internally very strong just by this very lesson. Because Lord Krishna very beautifully describes the qualities of the soul. The soul is immutable. The soul is birthless, deathless, beyond old age, beyond disease. That is the soul. Just meditate. Everyone, close your eyes. Let's have a group meditation. Everyone, yes, sit straight. Take a deep breath. Now just contemplate on what I'm saying. I am a soul. I am indestructible. No one can destroy me. The fire cannot burn me. The weapons cannot cut me. The wind cannot dry me. I'm birthless. I'm deathless. I am soul. Are you feeling strong or are you feeling weak? You're feeling strong, right? Okay, now again, one more meditation. I am this body. I can be cut. I can be burnt. Anybody can destroy me. How do you feel? You feel weak, right? So one of the ways to feel strong is that I am soul. I cannot be cut. I cannot be destroyed. I cannot be moistened. I cannot be dried. I am a spirit soul. So matter does not matter. What matters is spirit. In this world, people go for matrimonial.com and they see which one is most beautiful. ਕੁੜੀ ਬੜੀ ਸੋਹਣੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ ਮੇਰੀ ਮਾਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਵਿਆਹ ਦੇ ਮਾਂ ਮੇਰੀਏ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਵਿਆਹ ਦੇ ਕਿੰਨੀ ਸੋਹਣੀ ਕੁੜੀ ਹੈ ਇਹ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਹੈਂਡਸਮ ਮੁੰਡਾ ਹੈ ਰੇ ਆਹੋ ਜੀ so people go for only matter but matter does not matter. What matters is the spirit inside that matter. That means our value system, our consciousness, our feelings, they matter more than the matter. So Bhagavad Gita also teaches us to see beyond somebody's biology. And you will see more the things are on skin level. Then there's discrimination. There's superiority, inferiority, all this woman right, woman being oppressed, a black life really matters. Why these things are coming up? Hindi चीनी भाई भाई लेकिन हिंदी चीनी आज तक भाई भाई हो नहीं पाए क्यों क्योंकि हम नहीं माना वो हम लोग हिंदी हैं और वो चीनी है excuse me sir that's just biology that's only a matter those who have taken body the soul has taken body in China so Chinese people चीनी कहीं के ना हो तो उन्हें मिठास बिल्कुल भी नहीं है even though they are चीनी उन्हें बिल्कुल मिठास नहीं है और हम we are Indians yes हिंदी Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, Isai, आपस में है भाई भाई आज तक भाई भाई नहीं बन पाए लोग never ever because we have made this demarcation Hindu, Muslim, Sikh and Isai. Matter does not matter. What matters is consciousness. What matters is the spirit. So that's the second lesson which we learn from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, that we should focus on more on the spirit. If we identify more with matter, then more we are in illusion. Like once Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, he went to one mental asylum और डॉक्टर से पूछा इन पागलों में से सबसे कम हानिकारक पागल कौन सा है, विच वन इज लीस्ट हार्मफुल, वो पीछे जो बैठा हुआ है ना वो सबसे कम हानिकारक है। ओ, तो उसके पास गए जवाहरलाल नेहरू, उन्होंने पूछा ये ऐसे आपके आसपास से पागल लोग हैं ऐसी हरकतें कर रहे हैं, कैसा लगता है आपको? उसने कहा वेल एक राजा अपनी प्रजा को इस हाल में देखे कैसा लगेगा उसको, पागल तो है नहीं। अच्छा उससे फिर इसने पूछा अच्छा आपका नाम क्या है, कि मैं क्यों बताऊं, मैं क्यों बताऊं, तू बता तेरा क्या नाम है। तो पंडित जवाहरलाल नेहरू ने कहा वेल मेरा नाम है पंडित जवाहरलाल नेहरू। ये पागल इतना हंसा हंस हंस के रोल पोल हो गए। तो पंडित जवाहरलाल नेहरू का एक्सक्यूज मी आई हैव नॉट क्रैक्ड द जोक, आई हैव टोल्ड माय नेम, आई एम प्राइम मिनिस्टर ऑफ इंडिया, आई एम पंडित जवाहरलाल नेहरू। तो पागल बोला पता है 6 साल पहले मैं जब आया था ना मैं भी यही बोलता था मैं पंडित जवाहरलाल नेहरू मैं इस देश का प्राइम मिनिस्टर हूँ। इन लोगों ने मेरे को अंदर डाल दिया, अब तेरी बारी है। So what's wrong with this guy? He identifies with matter, not with the spirit. So what our real identity is? The spirit. In fact, you will see all these crises, land crisis, soil crisis, oil crisis, food crisis, this crisis, that crisis, Pharana crisis, Dhimkana crisis. But actually the root cause of all the crisis is identity crisis. Yeah. So that's the lesson which we learned, the second lesson. Okay, now the third lesson. The third lesson is problems are like leeches. Don't overreact. Again, problems are like leeches. Don't overreact. And that's coming from Srimad Bhagavad Gita chapter 2 verse number 14. Matra sparshastu kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukkhadah agamapaino nityas tam sitikshasva bharata. So translation is, O son of Kunti, the non-permanent appearance of happiness and distress and their disappearance in a due course are like the appearance and disappearance of winter and summer seasons. They arise from sense perception, O Shion of Bharata, and one must learn to tolerate them without being disturbed. Yes. So it's like winters and summers, they come and they go. So similarly, happiness and sadness, they come and they go. Everything is temporary. Don't overreact, Baba. Don't overreact. Once he was a king, he asked for his ministers, okay, give me something after looking at which, when I'm happy, I should become sad. When I'm sad, I should become happy. So one minister gave him the ring on which it was written, this time shall pass. This time shall pass. If I'm happy, if I look at it, I'll become sad. Oh, this time shall pass. Uh-oh. And when I'm sad, if I look at it, this time shall pass. Oh, yes, this time shall pass. This time shall pass. Because time passes. Good times, bad times, they both pass. The profits and loss, they both pass. That means we should not get ourselves attached to that which is temporary. So Lord Krishna is saying, do not overreact, Baba. Learn to tolerate. Learn to tolerate. It's very important. Now, sometimes this happens that, like in cricket match, you might have seen, in case the bowler makes an appeal, out! And then the umpire thinks, क्या इतनी सुंदर अपील की है इसने यार, आउट देना बनता है, क्या है भाई, आउट है भाई, इतना प्यारा अपील भाई, एक बार दोबारा बोल दे, एक बार जरा आउट। तो फिर क्या अंपायर ऐसा करता है, इतनी प्यारी अपील मारी तूने यार, आउट, आउट है जी। नो, अंपायर नॉट आउट। पर सब कितना बॉलर अपना नौटंकी कर ले, लेकिन अंपायर सेज not out. Same thing happens in our life. We should not overreact. Sometimes we are just too overreacting. You know, this किसने धोखा दे दिया, बस हमने नसें काटनी शुरू कर दी, उसमें फिर हमने इंक डाली, इंक से फिर लेटर लिखने शुरू कर दिए। ओ पिया पिया, तुझे दिल मैंने दिया दिया, तूने मेरे दिल को तोड़ दिया दिया, कि तूने क्या किया किया। Oh, come on, please don't overreact, Baba. Krishna says that appearance and disappearance of happiness and distress is very much like winters and summers seasons coming and going. टेम्परेरी चीजों में मन लगाओगे दुखी रहोगे बाबा, जो परमानेंट है, जो परमानंद है, उसे मन लगाओगे खुश रहोगे। Yes, you'll be happy. So that's another lesson which you learn from Srimad Bhagavad Gita chapter 2 verse number 14. Problems are like leeches. They come, they suck, but they leave also. ऐसा नहीं वो सारा खून पी जाती है, मेरे शरीर का सारा खून पी गई लीच, थोड़ा सा पी लेती है। जिनको लीच काटी हुई उनको पता होता है, पी रही होती थोड़ा सा, उसमें हल्का सा नमक डालो उसके ऊपर, वो छोड़ देती है. That's it. So that's why we should not overreact in life. ठीक है जी. Now next we go, next sutra. Be mentally fit, not mentally fat. Be mentally fit, don't be mentally fat. So that comes from Bhagavad Gita chapter 2 verse number 41. Vyavasyatmika buddhi buddhi ekehe kurunandanam bahushaha anantasya buddhya vasainam. Those who are on this path are resolute in purpose and their aim is one. O beloved child of Kurus, the intelligence to those who are irresolute is many branched. That means when the intelligence is thinking of this and that and this and that, मैं यहाँ मजा कर लूँ, मैं वहाँ मजा कर लूँ, मैं ऐसा मजा कर लूँ, मैं वैसा मजा कर लूँ, then this person becomes mentally fat. That means he's not able to do anything. The one who is everywhere is nowhere. The one who is everywhere is actually nowhere. Of course, that doesn't apply to God. God is everywhere, but yet he's everywhere, actually everywhere. But in our case, when our mind is traveling all across, all over the place, then actually it is nowhere. So be mentally fit and not mentally fat, which means that those who commit to nothing are distracted by everything. I repeat, those who commit to nothing are distracted by everything. Like you will see, like during COVID time, because we were doing nothing, and they were getting distracted by Netflix also, Amazon Prime Videos also, Disney Hotstar also, Woot also, YouTube also, Twitter also, WhatsApp also, this also, that also. Why? Because those who are not committed to anything, they get distracted by everything. The more we are aimless, the more we become shameless. The more we are aimless, aim in your life mein, then we become shameless. चलो यार जियो, कोई बात नहीं, गलत काम हो गया होगा. सर कोई aim है आपके लाइफ में? What? सर कोई aim है आपकी लाइफ में? Shameless. Like usually on New Year people go for resolves, but because they are not vyavasyatmika buddhir, because they are not having vyavasyatmika buddhi, that's why their mind will dissolve their resolve unless they evolve. We have to become evolved. Yes, that means one-pointed, resolute intelligence. That's what is required actually. And that's why somewhere I see that people nowadays mostly distracted by phones. So we should ask ourselves, are our phones connecting us or disconnecting us from our own selves? I repeat, let's ask our own selves. Are our phones connecting us, maybe connecting us to the world, but disconnecting from our own selves? Yes. People become so much distracted. People are so much sensitive. Nowadays, so many marriages, they are dwindling. Why? Because vyavasyatmika buddhi is not there. Bahushakha anantasya is happening. That's why. So we need to have one-pointed, resolute intelligence. When we are aimless, we become shameless. Yes. And the mind will dissolve. Our resolve, whether New Year resolve or any kind of resolve, mind will dissolve our resolve unless we evolve. I repeat, the mind would dissolve our resolve unless we evolve. So resolve would dissolve. Why? Because there is no evolution. Then we are not evolving. We have to do that. So that's another lesson which we learned. That's a fourth lesson. Now the next lesson is, don't hold on to the things that hold you back. Don't hold on to the things that hold you back. For that, there comes a beautiful verse in chapter 2, verse number 44. Bhoga aishwarya prasaktanam taya bharata chetasam vasyatmika buddhi samadho na vidiyate. In the minds of those who are too much attached to sense enjoyment and material opulence and who are bewildered by such things, the resolute determination for devotional service to the Supreme Lord does not take place. So very important word is bhog aishwarya prasaktanam. यानी भोगों से ऐश्वर्य से जो आसक्त हो जाता है, ऐसा व्यक्ति के में वन पॉइंटेड फोकस नहीं आ पाता, चाहे भगवान को लेकर के हो, चाहे स्टडीज को लेकर के हो. भोग ऐश्वर्य प्रसक्तानाम. Yes. So that's why the lesson which you learn is, don't hold on to things that hold you back. It can be my girlfriend also. It can be my boyfriend also. It can be my friend also. It can be money also. It can be prestige also. It can be honor as well. It can be desire to become popular as well. anything which holds you back, do not. So anything which is holding you back, anything, don't hold on to things that hold you back. You have to release. Bhog aishwarya prasattanam. That's very dangerous. So like nowadays we see that people people are attached to many things which are really not good for them. Like this grading system in education system. Why this grading system? Because ज़्यादातर बच्चे they are into भोग ऐश्वर्य प्रसक्ताना. इससे नंबर खराब आते हैं, कहते हैं बस पापा अब मुझे हार्पिक ला दो, मैं हार्पिक पीऊंगा और मर जाऊंगा. क्यों? क्योंकि नंबर खराब आए. अच्छा रुको बेटा, नहीं आत्महत्या नहीं करते बेटा, ग्रेडिंग सिस्टम आ गया है, A+, B-, B+. ठीक है? Now this is fine. In many places, why grading system has come? Reason being, bacha party. The students are attached to bhog aishwarya prasaktanam. So much of attachment to entertainment. Like Chanakya Pandit says, a student should not be attached to sources of entertainment. Some recreation can be there. You can go for a walk. You can play around for some time outside. You chit chat with your friends. But when there is bhog aishwarya prasaktanam, then samadho na vidhiyate. Then you will not have focus at all. No, that will not be there. So that's another lesson which we learn, that we should not hold on to things that hold you back. होता क्या हमारे साथ क्या, माइंड इज ऑन ऑटो पायलट मोड. और जब माइंड एक बार ऑटो पायलट मोड में आता है ना कि ओके अब वो ऑटो पायलट मोड में फिर लोग वही करते रहते हैं. लाइक आई हैव सीन पीपल वंस दे गेट इनटू दिस YouTube शॉर्ट्स करना शुरू किया, उंगली ऐसे फेरते फिर 10 सेकंड का 20 सेकंड का 10 सेकंड का 20 सेकंड का आधे मिनट का करते people spend hours and hours because they get into autopilot mode. So the mind on autopilot leads us to destruction, not destination. I repeat, the mind on the autopilot mode leads us to destruction, not destination. So this is what we learn from this verse. And also we should know that the richness cutting us off from the richness of life. This technology is what? It is richness. But this should not cut us off from the richness of life. So we should not ignore life. So that's another lesson to learn from Bhagavad Gita chapter 2, verse number 44. Okay, now the next lesson. Next lesson is, let self-mastery be the devotion's fruit, not determination's feat. Okay, sometimes we are trying to change ourselves, but through only determination. But just determination is sufficient? No. Why we are not able to do self-mastery? Why we are stuck with lower habits? Why so? Because there is no higher taste. So higher taste comes by devotion. So chapter 2, verse number 59, it describes that how self-mastery can come from devotion. It's a fruit of devotion, not determination's feat. So this verse is, Vishya vinivartante niraharasya dehina rasavarjam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate. Though the embodied soul may be restricted from sense enjoyment, the taste for sense objects remains. But ceasing such engagements by experiencing the higher taste, he is fixed in consciousness. Now, just see, by experiencing the higher taste. Now, although there can be lower engagement, but it doesn't mean that we starve ourselves. So biological hunger is our need. For example, in case you are feeling hungry, that's biological hunger. So biological hunger is the need, but sensual hunger is greed. I repeat, biological hunger, in case you are feeling hungry, that's a need. But sensual hunger, मजा हो जाए यार, और हो जाए. ऐसे में क्या होता है? Then और हो जाए में भटूरा खा के भी become भटूरा. क्यों? क्या करें? छगन हलवा इतना बढ़िया बनाता है हलवा. ओए. So that's sensual need. That's not the biological need. So this verse doesn't behoove us from fulfilling our basic needs. Yeah, that's the thing. So from this verse, we learn that we have to focus on breaking free from illusion. Focus on holding on to reality. But the nature of the mind is that nature doesn't the mind doesn't want reality. Reality is very boring, Baba. Reality is very boring. Acha, so then we hold on to something which is not reality. The mind focuses on that. जैसे हमने देखा ये Avengers जैसी movies बड़ी hit हो गई हैं. Avengers 1, Avengers 2, Eternals, Spider-Man, Iron Man, Ant-Man, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Catwoman, so many. लेकिन और लोगों को बड़े पसंद आते हैं. ऐसे नहीं सब बच्चा पार्टी देखने जाते हैं, बड़े लोग देखने जाते हैं. People go along with my girlfriend, hey, senorita, let's go for Avengers. And people go and watch Avengers. You know why? Ye Iron Man, Ant-Man, Spider-Man, are they real characters? No, they are not. Lekin reality is very boring, Baba. Reality is very boring. So let's go to some illusory place and go for illusion. No. So this verse is telling us that focus on breaking free from illusion. Focus on holding on to reality. Focus on reality. पर माइंड क्या करता है, हमें हमें टेलीविजन दिखाता है इल्यूजन का और वही देखते रहते हैं. मेरे साथ अन्याय हुआ, मेरे साथ अन्याय हुआ, ऐसे कैसे बोल दिया, ऐसे कैसे बोल दिया, गंदे कहीं के, गंदे कहीं के, कीड़े पड़े ऐसे लोगों को, कीड़े पड़े ऐसे लोगों को, गंदे कहीं के, गंदे कहीं के. बदले लेंगे, हम भी बदला लेंगे. हर कुत्ते का दिन आता है. एवरी डॉग हैज अ डे, एवरी डॉग हैज अ डे. हर कुत्ते का दिन आता है, हर कुत्ते का दिन आता है. आई एम जस्ट वॉचिंग टेलीविजन ऑफ द माइंड. दैट्स इट. That's it. So that's why we should hold on to the reality. Break free from the illusion. Hold on to the reality. पर हम कैसे कर पाएंगे? When we have the higher taste. Like हमारे श्रील प्रभुपाद जी, when he went to USA, his customers are hippies. They are having drugs, LSD, marijuana, heroin. That's it. Rock and roll, illicit sex, free living, irresponsible life. But our founder Acharya, when he went to USA, he gave them chanting of Hare Krishna, higher taste. He gave them Krishna Prasadam, cooked by his own hands, higher taste. In New York, where we are, it was the first center. There, in our first center, in a transparent jar, Srila Prabhupada would cook gulab jamuns, offer to Lord Krishna, and any hippie can come, open the lid, and pop inside his mouth, and anytime a gulab jamun. अब अमेरिकियों ने कभी गुलाब जामुन खाया नहीं. गुलाब जामुन खा खा के इनका जीवन गुलाब कर दिया श्रील प्रभुपाद जी ने, with fragrance of rose. Why? Just because they got the higher taste. So lower taste was gone, higher taste was there. So in case you want to conquer our habits, sometimes we really struggle with our habits, eating habits, drinking habits, sexual bad habits. All these bad habits are there. How to conquer these habits? We can conquer the habits by higher taste. When there is higher taste, who would go for lower taste, Baba? Nobody. In case you are very thirsty and there is a glass of water, और कोई बोले छोड़ दे इस पानी के ग्लास को, नहीं छोड़ूंगा. छोड़ दे इस पानी के ग्लास को, नहीं छोड़ूंगा. छोड़ दे इस पानी के ग्लास को, नहीं छोड़ूंगा. अच्छा, सामने मैंगो शेक रख दो, अब बता छोड़ रहा है कि नहीं छोड़ रहा? अरे क्यों नहीं सर, पानी ग्लास आप रखिए सर, मैंगो शेक. अरे वाह जी वाह. Tasty. Mango shake is higher taste. So when we go for the higher taste, lower taste automatically go away. I repeat, whenever there is higher taste, the lower taste, they automatically go away. So that's the way we can say no to temptations. So the way to say no to temptations is to say yes to devotion. I repeat, the way to say no to temptations is to say yes to devotion. So when we have the higher taste, we can say no to the lower taste. All right, now come to the next lesson. Next lesson is coming from chapter 2, verse number 62. Okay. Now this verse is like this. Dhyayeto vishyan pumsan sangaste shubhajayate sanga sanjayate kamaha kamat krodha vijayate. Yes. So next verse is also in sequence of this verse. But yes, the translation is, while contemplating the objects of senses, a person develops attachment for them. And from such attachment, lust develops. And from lust, anger arises. From anger, complete delusion arises. And from delusion comes bewilderment of memory. When the memory is bewildered, intelligence is lost. And when intelligence is lost, one falls down into the material pool. So the lesson to learn is that careless contemplation turns tempting thoughts into time bombs. I repeat. Careless contemplation. Careless contemplation. कभी भी किसी भी ध्यान नहीं दिया, ओए अरे. Careless contemplation turns tempting thoughts into time bombs. They can explode. Doom. Yes. So this is another lesson which we learn from Bhagavad Gita. So what we contemplate mentally, we cultivate mentally. I repeat. What we contemplate mentally, we cultivate mentally. So that's why everything starts with contemplation of particular sense object. उस पे ध्यान देते रहना कोई चीज पे, अरे यार काश 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 मान लो आप जा रहे थे, आप गाड़ी में जा रहे थे, बगल में कोई अग्रवाल स्वीट्स वाला आया, उसमें गरम गरम समोसे निकल रहे हैं, धुआं निकल रहा है उसमें से, और टक 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 आवाज आ रही है उसमें, टन टन टन, आइए समोसा समोसा। और आपने देखा एक बंदा उसमें ना समोसा उसने रखा भी है, उसमें चटनी भी है, और वो खा रहा है बड़े चाव के साथ। ओए तेरी यार, बारिश के मौसम में ऐसे गर्मा गर्म समोसे खा रहा है यार। नाउ अब भले ही आपकी आपकी रेड लाइट थी, आप खड़े हुए थे, अब वो ग्रीन लाइट हो गया, आप चल दिए, लेकिन आपके मन में क्या चल रहा है? समोसे 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 समोसे। कॉन्टम्पलेशन, कॉन्टम्पलेशन से क्या आता है? अटैचमेंट। अटैचमेंट से क्या आता है? डिजायर टू एंजॉय इट। भाई समोसे खाने हैं यार, समोसे खाने हैं भाई, यस। इन दिस वे देन देयर इज अ डिजायर टू एंजॉय इट। और मान लो सामने वाले बोल दे, क्या लगा रखा समोसे समोसे, फोकस ऑन योर वर्क, यू नॉनसेंस। क्या सर, समोसे तो मांगे हमने, ऐसा क्या हो गया सर? We become angry. That means when lust is not fulfilled, we become angry. Yeah. So everything starts with contemplation. Contemplation leads to attachment. Attachment leads to lust or desire to enjoy it. When there is desire to enjoy it, if it is not fulfilled, that leads to anger. Anger leads to delusion. Delusion leads to bewilderment of memory. मान लो पहले आपने कुछ गलत किया था, आपने कहा बस आज के बाद नहीं करना यार, आज के बाद नहीं करना, बहुत हो गया, आज के बाद नहीं करूंगा। Bewilderment of memory. Memory is bewildered. And then intelligence is lost. That means भाई आपका पास डेटा नहीं रहा, तो आप डिस्क्रिमिनेट कैसे करोगे? No data to contemplate on. Fall down. Yes. So that's why this particular verse, which is chapter 2, verse number 62, it tells us that how careless contemplation turns tempting thoughts into time bombs. Yes. And you see, our desires are not just linear. जो इच्छा मैं देखा, उसको इच्छा आ गई और हम contemplate हो गया, that's it. ना 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 ना, इच्छाएं आती हैं from association. So there is an object and there is a desire to enjoy that object. So is it very linear? No, it is not linear. It is not linear. अगर एक ऑब्जेक्ट है और आपको डिजायर है उसको एंजॉय करना है, but this desire comes from association. So this is triangle. So our thoughts are not just linear, our desires are not linear, they are triangular. Triangular कैसे? At one point I am there, at one point that object to enjoy. Third is association. संगति से इच्छाएं आती हैं कि इसको भोग ले, मजा कर ले रे, जिंदगी मिलेगी ना दोबारा, कल किसने देखा है रे, लेट्स हैव फन मैन, ये मैन, यो मैन। ऐसे कहीं भोले भाले लड़के आते हैं अगर शहरों में, उनकी इच्छा नहीं दारू पीने की, वो तो अपना दूध पीता था, टोकन डालता था, दूध निकल के आता था, उसमें रूह अफ़ज़ा डालता था, घुमा करके गुडुक 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 पूरी डोलची पी जाया करता था। गांव में था, शहर में आया, शहर में आके दोस्तों ने बोला, अबे क्या तू यार, अबे दूध पीता है अबे अबे डोलू ओले गुची गु, दूध पीता है, अबे दारू पिया कर लल्लू क्या है यार गन चक्कर आदमी दूध पीता है, अबे दो चार पैग लगा, मर्द बन मर्द, बी अ मैन। अच्छा, so in the beginning he starts, but later on it becomes his desire. He also wants, यार भाई दारू हो रही है, दारू पार्टी हो रही है, हमें पिलाओ यार but how this came? It came because of association. So that's why you will see our desires are not linear. Desires are actually triangular. Okay, they are not linear. So object to enjoy, desire to enjoy in the person, and third is association, who affected the desire in the person to enjoy this object. So contemplation comes from association. That also means that we should never send our intelligence to vacation. आपकी बुद्धि कहाँ है? छुट्टी पे गई हुई है आजकल जी, 2 महीने की छुट्टी पे। No. So take a turn back, take a U-turn, very important. और जितनी जल्दी U-turn ले लोगे उतना आसान होगा, जितना देरी से U-turn लेने का सोचेंगे U-turn लेने मुश्किल होगी। ध्यायतो विषयान् पुंसान् संगस्तेषु उपजायते, संगा संजायते कामा, अभी U-turn ले लें, नहीं लिया, कामा संजायते कामा, excuse me, the words goes like this, yeah. So संगा संजायते कामा, कामात् क्रोधो विजायते, अरे उस पर तो U-turn लिया, फिर क्रोध पे आ गए, क्रोधात् भवति सम्मोह, अरे U-turn ले ले, नहीं सर अब तो सम्मोह स्मृति भ्रंशात् बुद्धि नाशात् प्रणश्यति, जितना आगे जाएंगे U-turn लेने मुश्किल होगी। So timely U-turn लेना बड़ा जरूरी है. Yeah. So another lesson which you learn from Bhagavad Gita is that careless contemplation turns tempting thoughts into time bombs. Yes. Okay, now the next lesson. Next lesson is be special above the ordinary, not among the ordinary. So here comes a verse from chapter 2, verse number 61. Ya nisha sarva bhutanam tasyam jagriti sanyami yasyam jagriti bhutani sa nisha pashyato mune. What is the night for all beings is a time of awakening for the self-control. And the time of awakening for all beings is night for the introspective sage. Yes. Sometimes we are just driven by the people. जो दुनिया कर रही है ना वही करेंगे. जो दुनिया कर रही है वही करेंगे. But here Lord Krishna says, what is night for them is day for you. And what is day for them should be night for you. That means where they are active, worldly sense enjoyer, मजा करो यार, have fun man. अगर हम भी इनके जैसे अगर हो जाएंगे, then we are gone, we are finished. So that's why we should be very conscious about whom we are getting affected by. We should not get affected by the social mirror. Yes, we should ask ourselves, is the social mirror making a fool out of us? I repeat, just contemplate. Is the social mirror, ये जो हम दुनियादारी में जो लोगों को देखने करते हुए जो लोग जैसे जी रहे हैं, is it affecting me too much? Is it making a fool out of me? People may respond to us with indifference, but that doesn't mean that we are not making a difference. हो सकता है ऐसे लोग बोले अरे क्या यार, तो किन चीजों में लगा हुआ भाई? No. Like once Vikram Sarabhai, he was in Bhabha Atomic Research Center and he was reading the Bhagavad Gita. So a young scientist came. और उसको पता नहीं था कि ये विक्रम साराभाई है, the father of space program in India. So उसने बोला, सर आप भाभा एटॉमिक रिसर्च सेंटर में भगवद गीता पढ़ रहे हैं? You know, it's the world of science. भाभा एटॉमिक रिसर्च सेंटर, आप भगवद गीता पढ़ रहे हैं? Anyways, कंटिन्यू, चलिए पढ़िए, आप धार्मिक आदमी होंगे, पढ़िए पढ़िए पढ़िए. तभी एक और वहां पर व्यक्ति आया, उसने विक्रम साराभाई को सैल्यूट किया. सर, गुड मॉर्निंग सर. वो बातचीत थी. तो ना इसने उससे पूछा कि एक्सक्यूज मी, आपने इनको सैल्यूट किया, हु इज ही? कहता है, तेरे को पता नहीं है? ही इज विक्रम साराभाई, द फादर ऑफ स्पेस प्रोग्राम इन इंडिया. ओ सो सॉरी सर, I'm very sorry, I did not know that you are Vikram Sarabhai. Yes, I am Vikram Sarabhai. तो इस नए साइंटिस्ट ने पूछा, कहा सर मैं एक सवाल पूछूं सर? सर यू आर सिटिंग इन भाभा एटॉमिक रिसर्च सेंटर, भाभा एटॉमिक रिसर्च सेंटर, एंड यू आर रीडिंग भगवद गीता. मतलब यहाँ कोई साइंस की किताब पढ़ते आप, कोई फिजिक्स की किताब पढ़ते आप, तो बात समझ में आती है, लेकिन here you are reading भगवद गीता. And then he said, well, Vikram Sarabhai is Vikram Sarabhai because Vikram Sarabhai is a student of Bhagavad Gita. So that which is day for him is night for him, and that which is night for him is day for him. This person is not spiritually interested. It doesn't mean that I would not be spiritually interested just because there are people who are not spiritually interested. नहीं, भेड़ चाल में नहीं चलना होता. No. That should not be there. So we should understand, be special above the ordinary. Be special above the ordinary, not among the ordinary. Be special above the ordinary, not among the ordinary. So जो ordinary है उनकी जैसा जीवन नहीं बताना होता. No. Above the ordinary. We should go by some special thinking, special skill set. Yes, that's the thing. तो ये भी हमें करना है. So this is another lesson which we learn from Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Now next lesson is coming from Bhagavad Gita chapter 3 verse number 13. You are what you eat, and you are what you ate. You are what you eat. You are what you ate. Now here comes the verse which is from Bhagavad Gita, which is chapter 3 verse number 13. Yagya shishya sana santo mucchante sarva kilbhishay munjate te agham papa ye pachante atma karanat. So the devotees of the Lord are released from all kinds of sins because they eat food which is offered first for sacrifice. Others who prepare food for personal sense enjoyment verily eat only sin. Okay, तो यानी में जो खाना चाहिए we should offer in sacrifice. When we do that, then we are released from all karmic reaction. But in case we are eating just food for fun, for enjoyment, then you are verily eating only sin. हमें खाना चाहिए, क्या खाना चाहिए जी? But हमें, we should take vegetarian food, of course. We should offer it to the Lord. Yes, इसको बोलते हैं प्रसादम. Earlier the culture was whatever we eat, we should offer it to God. Even veg जी जब दवाई बनाया करते थे ना, तो दवाई भी वो उसको भगवान विष्णु को, नारायण को, कृष्ण को ऑफर करते थे. हे प्रभु, चूरण बना दिया है, इसमें शक्ति तो आप ही डालिए प्रभु। यस, इवन वैद्य जी भी दवाई को ऑफर करते थे भगवान को। So what to speak of food? So we should offer food to God. You know, it is known as prasad. प्र से मतलब प्रभु के, सा से मतलब साक्षात दर्शन, प्रसाद, प्रभु के साक्षात दर्शन, प्रसादम। Yes, we have seen so many people, millions and millions and zillions of people have taken advantage from taking prasadam. You'll be happy to know just in COVID time, 4.5 crore plates were distributed by just ISKCON Dwarka, and all across India 6 crore 75 plates. I repeat, 6 crore 75 plates were being distributed of sanctified food, prasadam, in India only during COVID. Wave 1, wave 2, wave 3. So many people had prasadam. We had this COVID care center near our temple, and 100% people recovered. We were just giving them some Ayurvedic medicine, you know, this coronel and all that, and some other, and giving them nice prasadam, healthy prasadam, offered to Lord Krishna, offered to Lord Jagannath, prasadam. और जितने लोग ठीक होते थे ना, और डॉक्टर ने बोले सर आप ठीक हो गए हैं, आपको कोरोना नहीं है अब। नहीं, मेरे को भी थोड़ा बीमार लग रही है, मेरे को ना मेरी तबीयत थोड़ी ठीक नहीं लग रही मेरे को, आप 2 दिन मेरे को और यहाँ रहने दो मेरे को। क्यों भाई? सर यहाँ ना प्रसादम मिलता है, सुबह दोपहर शाम comes Krishna prasadam, such tasty prasadam, and also their devotees would come and do kirtan for them. तो डॉक्टर बोले सर आप ठीक हो चुके हैं, आपका ऑक्सीजन लेवल 95% है अब। नहीं, मेरे को ना थोड़ा कभी बीच में लगता है, मैं 2 दिन और रहने दो, 2 दिन और रहने दो मेरे को। हाँ, प्रसादम। So that's why we should offer food to God and then take that. That is prasad, that is mercy. You know, once somebody asked our founder Acharya, when he was in USA, why you are opening your temples? What is so special about your temples? We have so many mosques, we have so many churches. Why are you opening your temples in USA? So Srila Prabhupada said, well, speciality, if you are asking, we give prasadam. In church, there is no prasadam. In mosque, there is no prasadam. In our Hare Krishna temples, we give prasadam. That is speciality of the Hare Krishnas. We give prasadam. Like in Africa, African, they know, oh, Hare Krishna wale aaye hain, हमको भी खूब नचाएंगे अच्छे से, उसके बाद हमको प्रसाद खिलाएंगे. They know that. Our impression is like that. Africa में, hey, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, ooh, they would dance, yay, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. And now prasadam. So in this way, Africans, they are getting mercy. Yeah, prasadam. एक माता ही थी, उन्होंने अपनी बेटी को बोला, देखो बेटा, इस्कॉन टेम्पल जाना, कुछ खाना नहीं, ये मिलाते हैं उसमें कुछ खाना नहीं। तो बेटी बोली अच्छा मम्मा, ठीक है मम्मा, मैं नहीं खाऊंगी मम्मा। तो आई, मेरे से मिली, वो कहते प्रभु जी, मेरी मम्मी बोल रही थी आप ना कुछ मिलाते हो, आप लोग कुछ मिलाते हो क्या इसमें? हमने कहा सच बताएं झूठ बताएं? कहते सच बताइए प्रभु जी। मैंने कहा देखो मिलावट तो होती है। कहते मिलावट होती है? मेरी मम्मी सही बोल रही थी यानी कि? मैंने कहा हाँ मम्मी आपने बिल्कुल सही बोली, मिलावट तो होती है, लेकिन मिलावट हम नहीं करते हैं, मिलावट तो प्रभु करते हैं। So when God infuses his mercy, his grace into the food becomes prasadam. Yes. So that's why chapter 3 verse number 13 says, we are what we eat and we become also what we ate. So be very, very conscious of what we are eating. So we should take sanctified food. Okay. So now next lesson is coming from chapter 3 verse number 21. So the lesson which you are going to learn is, our choice has louder voice than our voice. I repeat, our choice has louder voice than our voice. तो ये श्लोक है इस प्रकार से है, यद् यद् आचरति श्रेष्ठस् तत्तत् ते वितरो जनः स यत् प्रमाणं कुरुते लोकस्तत् अनुवर्तते. That so chapter 3 verse number, so here Lord Krishna is inspiring Arjuna that he should act rightly. So he says that in this particular verse, he says, whatever actions a great man performs, a common man follow, and whatever standards he sets by exemplary acts, all the world pursues. So more important than our words are our actions. हम लोग क्या बोलते हैं, लोग उससे कम प्रभावित होते हैं. हम क्या करते हैं उससे ज्यादा प्रभावित होते हैं. वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. तो जैसी कथनी हो वैसी करनी हो, then that makes a difference actually. अब देखो इस दुनिया में ना बड़ी बड़ी बातें बोलने वाले कई लोग हैं. They give very inspirational motivational talks. कर दिखाओगे, आग लगा दो, आसान है, कोई भी कर सकता है, ये वो this that. But in their personal lives they don't have any spiritual background, they don't have any sense of gratitude, they don't live actually life by values. Yeah. So such people can be impressive in the beginning but not transforming. I repeat, such people can be impressive in the beginning but not really transforming. Yeah. So that's why it is very important to act, behave the way we behave. And our founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada, when he was in USA, he would give lectures for half an hour only, 45 minutes maximum. But his behavior and dealings were so affectionate with the Americans. The Americans say they were sold out to him. Wow. Wow. These people are so genuine. Like in Russia, there was one case being filed against us. And there it was mentioned that, these Hare Krishnas, they worship Krishna, a God who has got 16,000 wives. Okay. So galat hai ji. Bilkul, of course. How can you worship a man who has got 16,000 wives? So devotee said, okay, maybe call the nuns here. Okay, nun, what is the pledge you take when you become the nun? So nun said, we take this oath. None of these mortal beings of this world are our husbands. Our husband is Jesus Christ. Okay, so how many nuns are there in the world? 6 million. That means Jesus Christ has got 6 million wives. So here is Lord Krishna who has got 16,000 wives, and here is Jesus Christ who has got 6 million wives. Because all these nuns they say, इस दुनिया का कोई ये सांसारिक, ये हड्डी मांस का बना हुआ लोथड़ा, ये हमारा कोई husband नहीं है. हमारा husband तो Jesus Christ है. So 6 million nuns are wives of Jesus Christ. So sir, so ma'am, you are saying that Krishna is should not be worshipped. Why? Because he has about 16,000. What about 6 million? 6 million wives of Jesus Christ. Case was closed there and then. But judge ने एक और चीज जो नोट की was that even though there were some strong allegations against the Hare Krishnas, but he said, well, the Hare Krishna devotees are genuinely saintly. ऐसा. So actions speak louder than words. Yes. So one more lesson which we learn is that our choice has a louder voice than our voice. Yeah. So choices, our actions, our dealings. अब देखें हमारी डीलिंग्स भी कम होती अच्छी होती है, हमारी फीलिंग्स अच्छी होती हैं. हमारी डीलिंग्स अच्छी होती हैं जो हमारी फीलिंग्स अच्छी होती हैं. हमारी डीलिंग्स अच्छी होती हैं हमारी फीलिंग्स अच्छी होती हैं. So we should focus on that. Okay. So now next lesson which we are going to learn is make judgments but don't be judgmental. Next lesson is make judgments. देखना चाहिए अच्छा क्या है बुरा क्या है. Okay. But don't be judgmental. Yeah. So here comes one verse which is from Bhagavad Gita chapter 2 verse number chapter 3 verse number 26 is na buddhi bhed na buddhati bhedam janiyed jnana karma sanginam josheta sarva karmani vidwan yukta samacharan. So as not to disrupt the minds of ignorant men attached to the fruitive results of prescribed duties, a learned man should not induce them to stop work. Rather, by working in the spirit of devotion, he should engage them in all sorts of activities for the gradual development of Krishna consciousness. That means, so we should not be judgmental. अब देखो लाइफ है ना, या तो हम जज बन जाते हैं या वकील बन जाते हैं. जब दूसरों को देख रहे होते हैं तो हम जज बन जाते हैं. ओ ये अच्छा है वो बुरा है. और जब खुद ही गलतियां छुपा रहे होते हैं तो हम वकील बन जाते हैं. वेल एट दैट टाइम दैट वाज नॉट माय इंटेंशन. मेरी इंटेंशन ये नहीं थी. वकील बन जाते हैं. तो यहाँ वकील है या जज है, या जज है या वकील है. सर थोड़ी वकालत छोड़िए, थोड़ी जिंदगी जिए. लिव लाइफ सर प्लीज. सो वी may be making judgments, but we should not be judgmental. If people don't walk in, don't slam the door on their face. अगर लोग नहीं आ रहे, आपकी बात नहीं सुने, don't slam. ये गंदे लोग हैं, गंदे कहीं की ना हो तो. We should not do that. Our words should be opening people's heart, not close them. Do not make a virtue out of alienating people. नहीं इसमें ये कमी है, इसको हटाओ, इसको हटाओ. हटाना बहुत आसान होता है बाबा. But reformation is a real thing actually. Okay, so that's why like they're saying, I don't care how much you know till the time I know how much you care. I repeat, I don't care how much you know till the time I know how much you care. जब care ही नहीं करते, सिर्फ उनको बस that's very theoretical. That's very theoretical. That's so dry. That's so outwardly. That's so external. That's so superficial. Baba. So that's why we should actually care. So compassion matters more than erudition. Compassion is more important. It matters more than erudition, than how much you know. No, compassion, care. Yeah. So that's why do not disturb people. We are to engage them as per their psychophysical nature. Okay. So make judgments, but don't be judgmental. If you judge too much, you become mental. So judge and then become mental. Judge, mental. Like that. Okay. Now, next sutra is that the love that leads us to evil is evil masquerading as love. I repeat, the love that leads us to evil is evil disguised as love. Okay. So like Arjuna asked Lord Krishna, कि भगवान हम तो पाप नहीं करना चाहते, even though I do not want to commit sin, why am I forced, as if I'm forcefully engaged in this sinful activity? मैं पाप नहीं करना चाहता लेकिन ऐसे जबरदस्ती मैं कर जाता हूँ, क्यों किया नहीं करना, फिर भी हो गया, अगली बार से नहीं करूंगा, लेकिन फिर भी फिर हो गया. So he asked Krishna, हम तो पाप नहीं करना चाहते, I don't want to commit sins. Why is it that I get into sin again and again? Why is that so? So here comes this verse. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Kam Esha Krodha Esha Rajo Guna Samudbhava Mahashano Mahapapma Vidyanmiha Vairinam. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, it is lust only, Arjuna, which is born of contact with material modes of passion and later transformed into wrath, and which is all devouring sinful enemy of the world. Okay, so यानी पाप अगर होता है किस वजह से होता है? It is because of काम एशा क्रोध एशा. It is a lust only. Lust makes us do the sin. हम नहीं करना चाहते फिर भी कर बैठते because of lust. ये lust का जो rust है, इससे बच निकलना must है. Yes, ये rust है वास्तव में. Even though there are people who say, well, अगर lust नहीं होगी then how will we enjoy? Excuse me, sir. If you want to enjoy, then you should not be lusty. Like there are people who are actually great, who have great creativity, but they stay away from lusty exchanges, even though they should be respect for opposite gender. But you will see this lust, it really rust. Like ऐसे कितने ही बच्चे हैं, they are addicted to watching pornography. Just because they are addicted to watching porn, they are not studying. You know which is world's #1 country in watching pornography? India. Google is laughing on Indians. कहते ये देखो भैया हमारे Indians लोग. It's the land of spirituality, land of culture. Wow, क्या बात है जी. Google search of Indians. Just see their Google search. जब इनकी मिस इंडिया आती है ना, मिस वर्ल्ड के कॉन्टेस्ट में, मिस यूनिवर्स के कॉन्टेस्ट में, बड़े शान से बोलती है वो, I'm coming from India, the land of culture, the land of heritage, spirituality and purity. I'm Miss India, Senorita Khanna. Thank you very much. अच्छा, so you are going from land of culture and religiosity and spirituality, हाँ? ये आपके हम इंडियंस की गूगल सर्च आपको दिखाना चाहेंगे. हमने गूगल में हमने देखा भाई इंडियंस क्या सर्च करते हैं. 89% data is used by Indians to watch porn. 89%. यानी कि अगर किसी का 100 GB डेटा है, 89 GB वो लगाता है watching porn. 11 GB for watching some movie, some junk videos from Twitter, WhatsApp, this, that. 11 GB. 89 GB is for this. Crazy world. And then when you are into this, then you can't study. When you are into this, you can't have any skill, whether it is a musical skill or a technical skill. Na ji na. So Lord Krishna is giving the root cause of all the sinful activities that happen is that Kama Esha and then Krodha Esha. When lust is not fulfilled, गुस्सा आता है फिर. मेरे को मजा क्यों नहीं हो रहा यार? मेरे को मजा क्यों नहीं हो रहा? मैंने शादी की थी इसलिए ताकि मैं मजा करूं. ये क्या ये मतलब किसे में हम ब्याह गए यार? क्या यार मतलब बेकार होगी हमारी जिंदगी यार. छड़ पड़े यार. क्रोध ऐशा. मजा नहीं आ रहा यार. मजा नहीं आ रहा यार. हमने जॉब की थी किसके लिए? मजा करेंगे यार. जॉब में ना मजा नहीं आ रहा यार. वही जाते हैं, वही लॉगिन करना पड़ता है, वही काम हमको एलोकेट होता है, वही छपाई का काम करना पड़ता है. क्या यार मजा नहीं आ रहा यार. मजा नहीं आ रहा यार. मजा 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 सब कुछ लाइफ में किसके लिए? मजा मजा मजा. लो थोड़ी मजा पी लो. So काम ऐशा क्रोध ऐशा. So that's the thing. And usually this love The so-called love, which leads to evil, is actually evil disguised as love. It is not love. Usually out of lust, if I say somebody, well, I love you. Actually, it means I lust you. Basically, I want to exploit you. And somebody can say in return, yeah, of course, I love you too. That means, okay, all right, you can exploit me. Do you have some money also? Huh? No? Get lost, man. That's the nature of love, the so-called love in the material world. So that's very important. So more danger than the enemies that threaten us are the enemies that tempt. So enemies बाहर नहीं होते. So lust is tempting. So this is greater enemy. दिखती भी नहीं है ये. भाई अगर enemy पहचाना नहीं जाए तो उसको मैं attack कैसे करेंगे हम? So the enemy that is not recognized can't be resisted. That's why people can't resist lust, because no, who can recognize it? Well, but it is there. So those who fight their inner devils are the ultimate daredevils. So we should all try to become daredevils, not outside, but fight with evils inside. So those who fight with the inner devils, they are the ultimate daredevils. So we should fight it. Yes, as Lord Krishna says. Okay, now let's go to the next sutra. The next teaching which comes from Bhagavad Gita, the life lesson. Use intelligence to see beyond appearance. Use intelligence to see beyond appearance. Yes. नैनो की मत मानियो रे, नैनो की मत सुनियो, नैना डस लेंगे. हाँ, वो पहले गाना हमने सुना था. But use your intelligence to see beyond appearance. हाँ, दिल को देखो, चेहरा ना देखो, चेहरों ने लाखों को लूटा. दिल सच्चा, चेहरा झूठा, झूठा रे झूठा. हाँ जी. And the verse which is there, which is chapter 3, verse number 43, is evam buddhe param buddhva संस्थाप्य आत्मात्मना जहि शत्रु महाबाहो काम रूपम दुरासदम. Thus knowing oneself to be transcendental to the material senses, mind, intelligence. That means you should know that you are a soul. O mighty armed Arjuna, one should steady the mind by deliberate spiritual intelligence, Krishna consciousness, and thus by spiritual strength conquer this insatiable enemy known as the lust. So use your intelligence to see beyond appearance. Like there is one एक शेरो शायरी आती ना, कुछ मजनू बने, कुछ राजा बने, कुछ रोमियो, कुछ फरहाद हुए, इस रंग रूप की चाहत में जाने कितने बर्बाद हुए. मैंने बहुत पहले एक मूवी देखी थी सरफरोश करके, उसमें ये शेरो शायरी आती. But this is very relevant. This is connected to this verse of the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, verse number 43, which mentions that by knowledge, divine knowledge, and by spiritual strength, we can conquer the temptations. Spiritual strength. Physical strength से हम physical चीजों को उठा सकते हैं. लेकिन अगर कोई हमारा enemy, which is enemy inside, we can come out of, we can really be victorious by having spiritual strength. Then we can conquer it. But yes, one more thing which is mentioned in this verse is that Reformation requires reformulation. I repeat, Reformation requires reformulation. We have to reformulate the things. That means we have to change our lifestyle itself. अगर आप किसी चीज में फंसे हुए ना, especially lust में, lust doesn't mean just carnal craving for opposite gender. It means if craving to enjoy anything and everything which is not yours and which makes you crazy, which makes you thirsty, more and more and more and more. अगर ऐसा होता है, then we have to somewhere reformulate entire life itself. That's the thing. And also at that time we should do introspection. We should use our spiritual intelligence. Spiritual intelligence is for introspection. Again, introspection is for fact finding, not fault finding. I repeat, introspection is for fact finding, not fault finding. What is the real nature of this so-called love? Fact finding, not fault finding. Now that should not be. So we should use our intelligence like that. And in this way, using intelligence, we work on 4Ds. We should be very, very conscious not to dwell on 4Ds. D for dwell. After dwelling comes another D, desire. Then comes the third D, decide for it. Yes. And then fourth D, degrade. So dwell, desire, decide, degrade. No, go for the fifth D. That is discriminate. How do we discriminate? Using our intelligence. We discriminate. Okay, now next one. Next sutra is that see Krishna not just as an object of entertainment, but as the objective of enlightenment. We should see God, again, I repeat, we should see God or Krishna not just as an object of entertainment, but as an objective of enlightenment. As Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita chapter 4 verse number 9, Janma karma cha me divyam evam yoveti tattvataha tattva deham punarjanma naiti mameti so Arjuna. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode. So one should know that God is trans-phenomenal. Phenomena means it is pertaining to the world. He's trans-phenomenal. He's trans-cognitive. That means he's beyond the faculty of intelligence. God is beyond that. Janma karma chame divyam. God is actually divyam. Yes. Even though his activities appear like that. He's also, stealing butter. God is stealing butter. He's hungry for butter. No, sir. If God would have been hungry for butter only, तो भगवान तो अमूल की कंपनी में बैठे रहते हैं, कहते लाओ जी बटर निकालते रहो, मेरे को देते रहो. Is Lord Krishna sitting inside अमूल और मदर डेयरी? तो बस वहां भगवान मक्खन खाते रहते हैं, उनको मक्खन बड़ा अच्छा लगता है. No. His charma karma chame. He wants butter from the devotees which they churn out of love. So God's position has to be taken like that. God comes to the material world, but not materially. I repeat, God comes to the material world, but not materially, spiritually. Yes. जैसे कभी कभी क्या होता है, प्राइम मिनिस्टर ये भी जाता है जेल में और देखने के लिए भाई सब ठीक ठाक चल रहा है, यहाँ पर कोई व्यवस्था की कमी तो है, कमी तो नहीं है, कोई कमी है तो हमें बताइए. तो वो जो जेल में कैदी होते हैं ना, सलाखों पीछे होते हैं, ये देख ये भी आ गया. सर हम भी जेल में, आप भी जेल में. क्यों कल्लू? प्राइम मिनिस्टर साहब भी जेल में आ गए. एक मिनट सर, प्राइम मिनिस्टर साहब का आना और आपके आने में बहुत फर्क है. आपने गंदे कर्म किए थे, दैट्स व्हाई यू आर हियर, इसलिए आप यहाँ पर हैं जेल में. प्राइम मिनिस्टर या प्रेसिडेंट आता है तो देखने के लिए ओके सब व्यवस्था ठीक है, किसी का व्यवहार ठीक है, जेलर ये इसका व्यवहार ठीक है, हाँ सर बहुत अच्छा आदमी है, गलती से चक्कू इसने पेट में डाल दिया था, डालना सब्जी में था लेकिन सब्जी के बजाय वो किसी के पेट में चला गया, तो बहुत उसको बड़ा पछतावा है. ओहो सर गलती से चक्कू पेट में चला गया मेरे किसी के, तो मेरी सॉरी. तो उससे पछतावा भी है, सुधर भी गया. अच्छा कितनी इसकी कैद कितनी है? सर इसकी कैद सर है 14 साल कैद व मुशक्कत है. ठीक है चलो 6 महीने में इसको रिलीज कर दो. अच्छा है ना वैसे? हाँ सर अच्छा ठीक है ओके रिलीज. सो गॉड इज लाइक दिस. पर कलयुग में क्या है, जो भगवान है उन पे डाउट होता है, पता नहीं भगवान है नहीं है, whether Krishna is actually God or not. पता नहीं इस्कॉन वाले तो बोलते रहते हैं हरे कृष्णा धूम धड़ाका मचा के रखा है इन लोगों ने, मतलब बिना मतलब का. सो पीपल बिकम डाउटफुल, पता नहीं कृष्णा भगवान है नहीं है. अच्छा जो भगवान नहीं है उनको लेके ये बाबा जी तो भगवान है, बाबा जी भगवान है. यस बाबा जी इच्छाएं पूरी करते हैं, बाबा जी संकट मोचन है, बाबा जी मेरी नौकरी नहीं लग रही, मेरी तीसरी आंख मुझे बता रही है, पता नहीं मेरी आंखों के आगे जॉनी वॉकर की विस्की की बोतल क्यों आ रही है बार बार, ये जॉनी वॉकर की बोतल की ये क्यों आ रही है बार बार. आप कौन सी दारू पीते हैं आप? सर जॉनी वॉकर. ठीक है जॉनी वॉकर के साथ साथ ओल्ड मॉन्क भी पिया करिए, साथ में आप हेवर्स 5000 का सोडे के साथ पिया करिए, कृपा मिलेगी. क्या बात. ऐसे लोग करोड़पति हो गए, ऐसे लोगों को लोग भगवान बना के चल रहे हैं. तो जो भगवान है उनमें डाउट है, और जो भगवान नहीं है उसको भगवान माने चल रहे हैं. लाइक इन जर्मनी देयर वाज वन कॉन्टेस्ट, Charlie Chaplin look-alike contest. So the one who would look like Charlie Chaplin, he would win the contest. So कई लोगों ने इसमें अर्जी भरी, ओके चार्ली चैपलिन look-alike contest में. चार्ली चैपलिन ने पढ़ा, चार्ली चैपलिन ने कहा चलो हम भी भरते हैं यार. सो चार्ली चैपलिन ने भी फॉर्म भरा चार्ली चैपलिन look-alike contest में. सो इसमें कौन किसको जीतना चाहिए? चार्ली चैपलिन look-alike contest में, जिसमें चार्ली चैपलिन ने भी भाग लिया है, चार्ली चैपलिन को ऑब्वियसली. पर इस कॉन्टेस्ट में पता क्या हुआ? First prize was not given to Charlie Chaplin. Second prize was not given to Charlie Chaplin. Third prize was not given to Charlie Chaplin. Consolation prize was given to Charlie Chaplin. कि Charlie Chaplin, you don't look like Charlie Chaplin. Somebody else looks like Charlie Chaplin. This is what people do in this world. जो भगवान है उनको लेके डाउट करते रहते हैं, पता नहीं ये कृष्ण जी भगवान है नहीं है, ये तो राधा जी के साथ रहते थे ना, इनका प्यार तो राधा जी से था, वो शादी रुक्मिणी जी से साथ हो गई थी। व्हाट अ सैड लाइफ। पैदा हुए थे जेल में, पैदा किसी और ने किया, इनको पाला पोसा किसी और ने, पता नहीं भगवान है या नहीं है। चोरी करके खाते थे ये, घर में क्या माखन कम था, भाई बाहर आप चोरी करके खा रहे हो आप, किस प्रकार के आदर्श स्थापित कर रहे हैं आप हैं। और पत्नियां देखिए 16,108 ये थी, तो मतलब एकाद रखिए, मतलब इतनी सारी, रुक्मिणी भी है, सत्यभामा भी है, जामवती भी है, मतलब वे टू मच। वी डाउट वेदर दिस गाय इज रियली गॉड और नॉट। अच्छा अच्छा, और तो फिर भगवान कौन है? कहते हैं वो हमने बाबा जी चुने हुए अपने, वो भगवान है। अल्लाह, तुम्हारा पेंटियम प्रोसेसर फूक चुका है सर। यस, आपका आईसी उड़ चुका है, आपका मदरबोर्ड भी उड़ चुका है। डुडुम। जन्म कर्म च में दिव्यम। So see God, see Krishna not just as an object of entertainment, but as an objective of enlightenment. Yes. So Krishna can do that. And you see that Lord Krishna is glorified in various scriptures, even in Guru Granth Sahib. Guru Nanak Dev Ji says, I pray to that Lord Krishna that he may reside in my heart, Nanak's heart, the one who spoke the Gita, the one whose head is bedecked with peacock feather. May that Lord Krishna who steals the butter from the house of the gopis, may that Krishna reside in the heart of Nanak. Guru Nanak Dev Ji is saying like that. In this way, he is glorified by different saintly people as well. Okay, what's the time? Okay, it's now already 8:45. So we'll take this last sutra. Instead of 20, we will cover now today 15. Okay, and then we will take question answer. Okay. So next one is, know we are to settle and where to unsettle. Okay, know where to settle and where to unsettle, then you can be settled. Next lesson is, you should know where to settle, where to unsettle, and then you can be settled. So this comes from chapter 2, verse number 22, where Lord Krishna says, yaddichha labha santushto dvandvavatito vimatsaraha samasiddha avasiddho cha kritvapi na nibadhyate. He who is satisfied with the gain which comes on its own accord, who is free from duality and does not envy, who is steady in both success and failures, is never entangled although performing actions. Know that where you should be settled, where you should not be settled. Know where you should be satisfied, where you should not be satisfied. Like Chanakya Pandit used to say, never be satisfied in chanting the names. Naam jap mein kabhi satisfied mat ho. In charity, never be satisfied. I wish I could give more. In charity, never be satisfied. Okay. And then one should not be satisfied in knowledge. Kash mein aur jaan pata, kash mein aur seekh pata. I wish I could know more. I wish. So in acquiring knowledge, in chanting japa, in charity, one should not be satisfied. Acha, in what do I should be satisfied? I should be satisfied with my spouse. I should be satisfied with my earnings. I should be satisfied with my food which is given to me. So food mein, earning mein, spouse mein, be satisfied. Knowledge mein, naam jap mein, charity mein, never be satisfied. Know where to settle, where to unsettle, and then you would be settled. सोचिए अगर मैं उल्टा कर दूं, अगर life will become like hell. और आप देखिए दुनिया के अंदर लोग उल्टा ही कर रहे हैं. स्पाउस से कोई सेटिस्फाई नहीं है अपनी, कहता अरे यार जल्दी कर दी हमने, जल्दी कर दी यार, थोड़ा वेट कर लेते ना, अच्छा मॉडल मिल जाता है, और जल्दबाजी में गड़बड़ी हो गई. अब चलो क्या कर सकते हैं, आप जो मॉडल है भैया, आप इसकी न सुपारी तो दे नहीं सकते कि टपका दो भाई, जब ये जाएगी बाहर तो इसको फिर किडनैप करके ले जाना, ठीक है, फिरौती मांगना, फिरौती देंगे नहीं तो तुम इसको वापस करना ही नहीं, रख लेना इसको. ऐसा कैन यू डू दैट? People are not satisfied with their spouse. This guy is so dull, you know. He's so dull. बोलता नहीं, चुप रहता है भाई, पत्थर और मुंह खोल ले अपना. Not satisfied. और मान लो बोलना शुरू कर दे, इतना बोलता है, इतना बोलता है, इतना बोलता है, सर दर्द कर देता है जी ये आदमी, तंग आ गए हम इससे. हाँ, not satisfied with spouse. गलत जगह. oh yes. खाने पीने में you're not satisfied. क्या बनाया ये, क्या बनाया ये, क्या बनाया, ओ लो जी क्या बनाया, नेवर सेटिस्फाइड. अर्निंग में नेवर सेटिस्फाइड. 12-12, 15-15 घंटे लोग लगे रहते हैं. व्हाई? नेवर सेटिस्फाइड. अरे सर जो अर्निंग आ गई, 2-3 रोटी चल रही है ना, दैट्स ओके, दैट्स फाइन. अच्छा क्या आपको झंडे गाने का बड़ा शौक? हाँ ऑफ कोर्स, अच्छा, जो लोग झंडे गाड़ चुके हैं वो लोग क्या कर रहे हैं? वो झंडे के नीचे बैठ के दारू पी रहे हैं वो लोग, और कुछ नहीं। मैंने झंडे गाड़े और वो झंडे के नीचे बैठ के दारू पी, दैट इज सक्सेस फॉर देम। ऐसे लल्लू लाल लोग हैं। सो बी सेटिस्फाइड इन वेल्थ, whatever comes by own accord, be satisfied in that. So one should know where to settle, where to unsettle, and then you would be really settled, as per Bhagavad Gita chapter 2 verse number 22. So now there are few minutes, maybe of course I could go for till 20 also, but फिर ना Q&A का time बिल्कुल नहीं मिलेगा. So let's go for a few questions.
Yeah, please. The participants, either they can unmute themselves directly or they can type in the chat box, so I will take it up.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, yes.
I'm Dr. Priyanka. I teach in a dental college. My observation right now is the current generation don't have self-drive. Yes. I feel that, you know, everything is given to them, or everything is given or provided by their parents who don't teach them the value of money. And that's why I find that the current generation have no drive to, you know, come up in life. We always had something to look forward to, you know. We had that, you know, chalo acha padna hai, kuch banna hai, zindagi mein aise we had. But right now I find that most of them have a very laid back, a very casual, a very cavalier attitude towards everything, whether it is life, parents, teachers, learning their own life. So I want to know your take about it.
Yeah, so as we discussed the verse, chapter 2, verse number 44, भोगैश्वर्य प्रसक्तानां ज्ञापति चेतसां वैसे आत्मिका बुद्धि समाधोना विधीयते. These are all examples of this verse, because nowadays the youth is so much into भोगैश्वर्य प्रसक्तानां. Like during our times there was only DD Metro, दूरदर्शन आता था, DD1 और ये DD2 which is DD Metro. उसमें शाम को 2-4 घिसे पिटे सीरियल आया करते थे, तो वो कोई देखता नहीं था. हम लोग बाहर चेन खेलते थे, घूमते फिरते थे, खेलते थे, you know, into sports and all. But nowadays this media is so alluring, is so glamorous. So इस glamour में they are hypnotized. इसलिए लोग कुछ नहीं कर पाते. You know, आज पार्क खाली हैं. पढ़ाई लिखाई की दूर की बात, आज पार्क खाली पड़े हुए, कोई नहीं है पार्कों में, आज बच्चे हैं ही नहीं, क्योंकि वो क्रिकेट खेलते हैं, लेकिन वो यहाँ खेलते क्रिकेट. This is what they are doing. So that's why physically they are becoming weak, and intellectually also they are weak. We are becoming weak. So somewhere we are to jolt ourselves. You know, it's like it's not a small push, but a big push coming out of this comfort zone. Like for all the students, I recommend come to Nokia 3310, Samsung Guru. Go by that. जब तक ये स्मार्टफोन रहेंगे, ये स्मार्ट रहेंगे, हम गधे हो जाएंगे, और ये हो रहा है आजकल. So जब तक आप स्टूडेंट लाइफ में एटलीस्ट, तब तक स्मार्टफोन त्याग दें. In case you want to still use it because it is, you know, इसका earpiece अच्छा होता है, इसका remove internet. You should not be on internet. Go to your service provider, कि भैया इसमें इंटरनेट हटा दो, so that it is just a phone.
Sorry. How do you make sure that, you know, people listen to you? In the sense, you said please switch off the internet. It is not possible in this time of online class.
Yeah.
And okay, I do it for my daughter. Say I make sure that, you know, she is not, but her association, as you said, association matters the most.
Yeah.
The association is such that even if you want to, how much ever you try to, it is like swimming against a tide.
Yeah.
So as a whole, what could you said they require a jolt? How could we give that jolt?
You know, jolt is like this, taking some strict action. Of course, there can be some kind of a midway also. Like, okay, internet is allowed. You can watch 2 movies on Netflix, but in a week, not every day. So that you decide your movies, and there can be 2 movies in a week. And in this way, they get, and then you can watch some junk videos, but only for 45 minutes every day. And after 45 minutes, it will be snatched. होता है जब इसके लिए टाइम लिमिट डिफाइन नहीं होती है ना, फिर वो 2 घंटा, 3 घंटा, 6 घंटा, on and on and on and on and on. Somewhere we have to decide on that. Somewhere there can be contact. Like in your case, you are there as a guardian for your daughter. In many of the students' case, वो उनके parents, so they are in their world.
Good.
What to do? So यहाँ पर self accountability के बिना हम अपने आप को change नहीं कर सकते. We have to bring that self accountability. And somewhere we need some association, some inspiration. Somewhere we have to do this reporting. Somewhere being ready to be chastised. हमारे कोई कान खींचे, कोई एक आध चपेट लगाए, जरूरी है ये. हम इसके लिए ready नहीं है because हमारी ego hurt होती है. Come on, how can somebody speak like this to me? Don't you know who I am? Yes, I know who you are. You are a crazy fellow who is self-destructive. That's what you are. I know what kind of person you are. So somewhere we are to bring that self-accountability. Self-accountability के बिना तो कुछ हो ही नहीं सकता. So at least have this basic desire. I want to change. I want to change. I want to upgrade. I want to evolve. Somewhere this basic desire has to be there. अगर यही नहीं है तो बल्ले बल्ले खाओ दही बल्ले.
Thank you. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Something.
Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhu ji.
Hare Krishna बोलिए जी.
दंडवत प्रणाम प्रभु जी.
हाँ जी प्रणाम जी बोलिए जी.
हाँ हरे कृष्ण प्रभु. So मेरा बेसिक क्वेश्चन ये है कि अराउंड लास्ट 2 years 2 years से मैं इस्कॉन की जो शिला प्रभुपाद जी उनका बुक्स पढ़ रहा हूँ एंड आई हैव स्टार्टेड चैंटिंग as well as I have attended all your SMA courses. Now I am in the 5th level. So
okay.
Thank you very much for your continuous support. Basically my question is that कि प्रभु जी जैसे कि चैंटिंग मेरा अभी चल रहा है. हाँ चैंटिंग में 8 माला 10 माला ऐसा कुछ भी कर रहा हूँ. बट जो भी प्रीवियस हैबिट्स है, लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल वेरियस काइंड ऑफ बैड हैबिट्स आर देयर इनसाइड अस. बट जो भी बैड हैबिट्स है उसका फ्रीक्वेंसी में भी घट गया है. बट दे अपीयर after a certain interval of time. How to get rid of all these bad things basically? This is my question.
उसके लिए हमने chapter 2 verse 59 को हमने चर्चा की. Try to develop more the higher taste. जितना higher taste आएगा lower taste चला जाता है. मतलब उसकी और इच्छा भी नहीं होती actually. In the beginning still there is some temptation. But as you keep experiencing the higher taste, even there is no temptation for it. You reach to such an extent. But it happens gradually. So in case the frequency is going down, that means there is improvement.
Yeah.
So there is improvement. So इसलिए इस improvement को लेकर के be happy. Yes, I am improving. So, but yes, especially some of the habits which are very deeply rooted, especially sexual bad habits, they take time. So one should not feel discouraged. At the same time, keep working on cultivating the higher taste. When you focus on do's, the don'ts are automatically taken care of. When you focus on do's, don'ts are automatically taken care of. When you focus on do's, don'ts are automatically taken care of. So इसलिए do से focus करिए. Do. ये don't जो है ना ये अपने आप होते चले जाएंगे. I don't do that. I should not do that. I should not. Sir, ये do पे focus करिए. So cultivating higher taste would gradually attack. So by cultivating good habits, when you cultivate good habits, these good habits would fight with bad habits. I don't have to fight with bad habits. I would just work on good habits, and these good habits would fight with the bad habits.
And Prabhuji, along with that, I have one small question: that how to increase the quality of my chanting, because the chanting will actually act against all those bad habits. So basically, how to increase my quality of the chanting?
Okay. Firstly, sit straight.
Yeah.
If you have any lazy posture in chanting, then you feel lazy, and then gradually you're gone. So that's why I have a very straight posture, not very like this curve or neither concave nor convex, straight. Okay, and then prayerfully, with the feelings of taking shelter, chant. Sit in a place which is distraction free. Sit in a time which is also distraction free. Okay, and then of course you can have the Mahamantra card also, and then you are chanting. Chant in good association. Early morning chanting is of course is very good. Afternoon and evening times are quite distracting. So early morning chanting like that. And before chanting, know that today I am going to chant the best rounds of my life. Yes. Today I am going to chant the best rounds and I have offered my best rounds of Hare Krishna to the Lord. Do that. Yeah, and this way your chanting will improve.
Thank you, Prabhuji. And it was actually a great pleasure. And by Krishna's mercy, I am able to speak with you and actually discuss my problems. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
A minute.
Hare Krishna. So this is Prem Kishore Das. Request devotees or participants who are asking questions, please, if somebody is asking before you, then you please keep quiet and let them ask, then ask, because 2, 3, 4 people are continuously asking, so that is actually taking time. And also second point is, and there is one link has been given in the chat window, right, Jyotishwar Prabhu?
Yeah.
Yes. So for those who are interested in joining the ISS, want to become part of ISS and want to contribute in the research activities of ISS, and and you want to assist in some way the Institute for Science and Spirituality, please click that link and enroll yourself. Thank you very much.
Nice, wonderful, thank you.
Hare
Very-
Krishna, bro.
हाँ जी बोलिए जी, yes please. Okay, 9 बजने वाले हैं. Okay, quickly, yes.
Maybe
One by
1-2
one.
more questions we can take. Is that okay, Prabhuji?
हाँ, sure, please.
Thank you.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी.
हरे कृष्णा.
दंडवत प्रणाम प्रभु जी. प्रभु जी, कुछ दिन पहले मेरे एक डिवोटी फ्रेंड ने मुझसे पूछा कि आपका कोई भाई बहन है, तो मैंने उन्हें बताया कि मैं राधा रानी को बचपन से अपना छोटी बहन मानता हूँ, तो और कृष्णा को बेस्ट फ्रेंड. तो फिर उन्होंने बोला कि हम ऐसे नहीं कर सकते, हम सिर्फ सर्विस कर सकते हैं, लेकिन उन्हें ऐसे रिलेशन में नहीं बांध सकते. तो प्रभु जी, मुझे आपसे पूछना था कि क्या हम ऐसा नहीं कर सकते हैं?
Actually, it's best. होता क्या है, कभी-कभी ना it becomes all sentimental, you know. राधा रानी मेरी छोटी बहन है, कृष्ण मेरे दोस्त है. Oh, so sweet. Oh. So it becomes very, emotional thing than being devotional. So that's why we should see ourselves that we are servants of the Lord. Jivir Surupohi Krishna Nityadas, and see Krishna as the master. And that's more devotional, other than saying, Krishna is my best friend. Krishna, I love you. You're so nice. Krishna, you are my best friend, Yeah. It becomes very cutie pie kind of relationship with Krishna. So we should be more on devotional platform than just emotional platform. Emotions are good, provided emotions are subordinate to devotion. Yeah.
Hare Krishna, bro.
हरे
Dhanwat Pranam.
कृष्णा प्रभु जी.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Bole ji.
Bro, myself, Amogh Lila from GGD Voice, bro. Bro,
Okay.
actually, just got fortunate that I came to know about your lecture from Telegram group, bro. So my question is that, bro, my mother is there. So, bro, presently I am living in New Delhi, opposite to PM House. So, bro, actually here a lot of material things are there. So I am able to continue my practice, but somehow my mother is also chanting. So I'm thinking whether this is a good platform to ask your question, because I'm not able to connect with you, bro. Somehow, bro, I'm not able to visit the Dwarka temple because of other reasons, bro.
Uh-huh.
So, if possible, if there is any congregation, bro, you can connect with me. So, I also already wanted to have your email ID, but unfortunately, I didn't got to. So, I directly asked you, bro.
You drop your number in the chat window, we'll contact you.
Yeah, I will contact you. Yes.
Okay,
Hare
okay.
Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna,
हरे
Prabhuji.
कृष्णा प्रभु जी, आई वांट टू आस्क समथिंग.
हाँ जी, पूछिए जी.
हाँ, एक्चुअली मुझे ये पूछना है कि मैं एक मेकअप आर्टिस्ट हूँ और मैं रहती ही ग्लैमर की उसमें हूँ, तो मतलब उससे आप कैसे, मतलब आप कहते हो ना कि आप डिवोटीज बनो और ये सब, तो आप ऑलरेडी जब ग्लैमर में हैं तब उससे कैसे निकल पाए, बट आप अपना काम भी नहीं छोड़ सकते.
होता क्या, it is not the glamour which is the difficult thing. It is attachment to the glamour. You can do your things very dutifully, yet at the same time you can be very sober. We have one devotee, he is connected to ISKCON Juhu. He is a makeup artist there, but he regularly comes to temple. He does Guru Puja, very simple, very saintly person. But he does makeup even for the ladies also, the heroines and all. He does that. So, but he knows that he should not be doing Bhog Aishwarya Prasakta Naam. दिक्कत किसमें होती है? प्रसक्ता नाम. भोग ऐश्वर्य में दिक्कत नहीं है. Even if you are dealing with this glamorous people, glamorous world, दिक्कत नहीं है. दिक्कत आती है प्रसक्ता नाम में. So you should be more attached to Krishna, Lord Shri Krishna. You should be attached to the teachings of Lord Krishna. You should be attached to the higher values in life. You should be attached to pure devotees of the Lord. Then it doesn't matter actually. बल्कि ना ऐसे लोगों के बीच में काम करके ना भगवान में और विश्वास बढ़ता है, बिकॉज ये इतने खोखले होते हैं, ये इतने खोखले हैं, इनमें इतना शो ऑफ है, इतने झगड़े हैं इनमें, और क्या क्या गालियां, अरे बढ़िया हाई क्वालिटी गालियां देते हैं लोग, इंग्लिश में होती है ना वो हाई, बिकॉज आई हैव बीन विद दिस पीपल. ये पेज 3 क्लास है, इन साथ में उठता बैठा रहा करता, मैंने वाज वॉकिंग आउटसाइड, तो इन साथ में उठा बैठा हूं मैं, भाईयात लोग हैं. इसलिए इन लोगों के साथ तो काम करके बल्कि भगवान में और प्रेम बढ़ता है, कहते प्रभु बड़ा अच्छा हुआ है, इस जगत से आपने बचाया हमें. ये जो ग्लैमरस दुनिया दिखती है ना स्क्रीन के ऊपर, इसके पीछे की जो डार्कनेस है, ओ माय गॉड, मतलब ईर्ष्या द्वेष से भरे हुए हैं. There is no as such loyalty. It's all driven by sensuality. ये पेज 3 पार्टी जो लोग हैं, पेज 3, you know पेज 3 क्रेजी एक्चुअली. तो इसीलिए बल्कि वहां रह के तो आपका बहुत वैराग्य आएगा इन लोगों से. कहता प्रभु बात बचा लिया आपने नकली दुनिया से। बाहर के लोग बड़ी क्रेविंग होती है ना, वंस यू बिकम पार्ट ऑफ दिस फिल्म इंडस्ट्री, सिल्वर स्क्रीन, गोल्डन स्क्रीन, फला ढिमका, thank God we are saved from this artificial superficial life. So in this way, need not be attached to the higher realities of life. God,
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
with God.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी।
हाँ जी, हरे कृष्णा जी, बोले जी।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी।
बहुत सारे हरे कृष्णा आ रहे हैं, बहुत बढ़िया जी।
It's
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी।
maybe if you permit, then only we'll take. Otherwise, maybe some other occasion we can have something. Answer. What do you suggest, Roji?
I'm sorry.
It's already 9 o'clock, so we don't want to.
So we'll quickly say question. I'll quickly answer.
Yeah.
1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute, and then we are done in 8 minutes.
Hare Krishna Prabhu ji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी। प्रभु जी, how to do future planning according to Bhagavad Gita? हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी।
हाँ जी, हरे कृष्ण जी, बोलिए जी।
जी मैं अभी यूथ में हूँ, तो हम हमारे फ्यूचर प्लानिंग कैसे करें अकॉर्डिंग टू भगवद गीता, और कंटेम्पलेशन को कैसे अवॉइड करें?
You be in association with a mature person, he would guide you about your future planning. कि प्लानिंग करते हुए कैसे, प्रायोरिटी किसको देनी है, किसको नहीं देनी है, right? So that for that also we need somebody's guidance. So you need guidance of some mature person. ठीक है जी। अगला सवाल।
कैसे अवॉइड करते?
इतने सारे सवाल एक साथ जवाब दूंगा, एक एक करके बताओ।
प्रभु जी, हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी। आई एम कुणाल, और मेरा प्रश्न ये है कि हाउ टू ओवरकम फ्रॉम द डम्ब नेचर ऑफ डम्ब। मतलब अपॉर्चुनिटी मिलती है पर हम उसको खो देते हैं सामने से खुद ही, कुछ ना कुछ ऐसे करके अटैचमेंट की
Why
वजह
do you
से।
feel dumb? Because the food of intelligence is knowledge. जब नॉलेज नहीं होती ना तो इंटेलिजेंस रहती है। मैं काम किस पे करूं जी, खाना पीना कुछ हुआ ही नहीं मेरा। So the food of intelligence is knowledge. You feed your intelligence knowledge and then you see you start working. And also associate with intelligent people. उनके साथ बातचीत करना, the way they think, the way they communicate, उनके साथ रह करके then our intelligence start working on the next level. So in this way you acquire knowledge and associate with intelligent, of course saintly also. ऐसे लोगों का संग करो आप। ठीक है जी। अगला सवाल।
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी।
प्रभु जी,
प्रभु जी मतलब जो चैंटिंग करते हैं ना, उस टाइम बहुत सारे थॉट्स आते हैं, उसको कैसे कंट्रोल करें?
मैंने अभी बताया, अर्ली मॉर्निंग चैंटिंग करिए, प्रेयरफुली करिए, लॉर्डली करिए, क्लियरली करिए विद हरे कृष्णा महामंत्र कार्ड. You should have a holy place and a holy time to chant Hare Krishna. Sit straight also, that will also help you. Take sufficient rest, that will also help you. Take sattvic food, that will also help you. Next question.
In college preaching, like if some juniors are living the Krishna consciousness, so it affects the preachers in some
juniors are leaving Krishna consciousness, is it?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji.
Of course, hoga hi hoga.
How to deal with that?
Yeah. देखो, preaching means two words: giving time. Giving time. आप समय दीजिए, कोई जा रहा है उसे पास जाइए, उसे कमरे में जाइए, लाना पड़ता है बार बार, लोग फिसलते हैं, फिर पकड़ना पड़ता है, right? So in this way, do not feel disheartened. कलयुग है, it's the age of glamour. लोग फिसलेंगे, उनके पास फिर पहुंचना है, उनको वापस लेकर के आना है. हम भी जब फिसले थे तो हमको कोई बचा के लेके आया. आज भी अगर कोई फिसलेंगे तो कौन बचाएगा? डिवोटीज. सो इस तरह से ये लोग फिसलेंगे, इनको पकड़ना है अगेन एंड अगेन. इनके कमरों में जाओ, इनके हॉस्टल में जाओ. क्या हो गया भैया, फिसल गए, आना बंद हो गया, अले मेरा बच्चा आजा मेरे साथ, फिर लेके आओ. हो सकता है 1-2 महीने बाद फिर फिसल जाए, और क्या हो गया, अले मेरा बच्चा. ऐसे करके बार करना पड़ेगा. सो डू नॉट फील डिसहार्टेंड. ठीक है जी.
Especially in online preaching.
Especially
online preaching, like we are conducting.
कॉलेज में ना, यार बिल्कुल पहुंचे, हॉस्टल में पहुंचो, वहां बैठा आपने देख रहा होगा, नेटफ्लिक्स से मूवी देख रहा होगा, उसके साथ बैठो, उसको थोड़ा पॉपकॉर्न खिलाओ. कहते भैया तुम पॉपकॉर्न खाओ, प्रॉब्लम. लेकिन बीच में हरे कृष्णा भी क्या करो, आले मेरा बच्चा. पैम्परिंग विद लव, इंस्ट्रक्शंस, गुड एग्जांपल्स. ठीक है जी. डोंट फील disheartened.
Yes, Prabhu. And also that people feel that they get disconnected to this world if they accept Krishna consciousness. So how to answer?
No, we are in the world. हम लोगों से बातचीत कर रहे हैं, उनको खिला रहे हैं, पिला रहे हैं. हाँ, उनकी गंदी बातों में नहीं है, बस हम that ways we are disconnected, but we are in the world. हम उनसे उठते हैं, बैठते हैं, खाते पीते उनके साथ, ऐसे I am with all of you. I also go to corporates. We are with the world. How we are disconnected? हाँ, उनकी गंदी पॉलिटिकल बातों में नहीं है. हाँ, that ways we are disconnected. Of course.
Yes,
ठीक है जी?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, how we identify that we have taken wrong decision? Because sometimes we try to justify it. Like it has happened with me recently. I was chanting 6 rounds. Then I thought, what is the issue? If we will chant 1 round, then also it is fine because it is the same name and everything. So slowly I decreased and I got derailed. And I stopped listening to Bhagavatam class. I thought this is taking so much time. So I'm very like in a bad situation, Prabhuji. Please help.
तो इसके लिए as I told you, whenever the confusions encroach, we need a coach. ठीक है जी? So you do this. So they will let you know what to do, what not to do, what is right, what is wrong. हमारी इंटेलिजेंस से हम लोग नहीं जान पाते. So we need a coach because confusions have encroached. Okay, next question. Yes.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी.
हाँ जी, हरे कृष्णा बोलिए जी. कहाँ से आई है बात?
जी मैं दिल्ली से बोल रहा हूँ प्रभु जी. मैं एक टीचर हूँ बाय प्रोफेशन और प्रभु की बड़ी कृपा रही है. मेरी जर्नी बिल्कुल एक गांव से शुरू होकर इस शहर तक आई है और हमेशा ही ये लगता है कि उनकी महिमा के बिना कुछ नहीं होता और वही मेरे साथ हमेशा रग रग में महसूस होता है.
आपकी आवाज मुझे क्लियरली नहीं आ रही
कहीं
है.
न कहीं जिंदगी का एक प्रभु जी कहीं न कहीं जिंदगी का एक पॉइंट है जो मुझे थोड़ा कंफ्यूज करता है या मैं रास्ता नहीं पा रहा हूँ. आपने जो बिल्कुल लास्ट सवाल बताया, शुड नो वेयर टू सेटल.
वेयर टू सेटल? यूएसए में हो जा सेटल, बर्मुडा ट्रायंगल में.
जी जी बिल्कुल वो ठीक है. आप जो कह रहे हैं अगर प्रभु की कृपा होगी तो वो तो कहीं न कहीं सेटल होगा. लेकिन ये अगर एक ब्लिंक ऑफ लाइट भी मिल जाए तो शायद ये एक डायरेक्शन मिल जाए कि कैसे चलें हम. चलने में दिक्कत है.
चलने में दिक्कत हो रही है? पाँव में दर्द होता है आपके घुटनों में?
वो तो फिजिकल हो गया महाराज. फिजिकल तो ठीक है, फिजिकल तो बदल जाएगा समय के साथ.
बताया ना, एसोसिएशन. वी whenever confusions encroach, we need a coach. ठीक है जी? So you be in association of devotees and good guidance. ठीक है जी? Okay, next question.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी. How to stop contemplation?
How to stop contemplation on wrong object, right? Start contemplating on some other object, which is positive object, like that. When you contemplation gives direction to our thinking, our desires, right? So इसलिए वो lower चीज पे contemplate, तुरंत you start contemplating on something higher. Immediately, तुरंत. It can be even singing, dancing. Yes, start doing that on the holy name. Doing that. Like one of my friend, he was sharing, whenever he feels lusty, he starts singing Hare Krishna and dancing on Hare Krishna. He chooses his favorite tune and then he starts singing and dancing. So you start doing, so immediately change your object of contemplation into something which is more action driven. Because actions speak louder than words and words speak louder than the mind. So contemplation का mind पे उससे loud क्या है? Words. उससे loud क्या है? Actions. So words or actions पे you are contemplating on something higher. Of course, that has to be God, Krishna. That is best. ठीक है जी? अगला सवाल.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी. मेरे 2 सवाल हैं. पहला कि हम अपनी स्पिरिचुअल लाइफ और मटेरियलिस्टिक लाइफ को बैलेंस कैसे करें. कभी ऐसा होता है कि स्पिरिचुअल लाइफ हावी हो जाती है, मटेरियलिस्टिक लाइफ पीछे छूट जाती है. कभी होता है मटेरियलिस्टिक लाइफ पीछे मतलब हावी हो जाती है, स्पिरिचुअल लाइफ थोड़ी कम हो जाती है. और
Very simple. You get up early in the morning, you chant Hare Krishna, read Bhagavad Gita for half an hour. Rest of the day you work. In the evening you spend time with your family. On the weekends, come to temple for Mangal Aarti. You are balanced. अगला सवाल.
सर अगला सवाल ये है कि स्पिरिचुअलिटी हमारे मटेरियलिस्टिक गोल को अचीव करने में कैसे हेल्प कर सकती है. क्या वो हेल्प करती है हमारे?
Anything which is materialistic which will not make you happy. ठीक है? In case you want to achieve something materialistic, but in the service to God, then it is fine. For example, you want to make a lot of money, but for what? For God, then that is very good. But in case so that I can enjoy life, man, I'll move around. I'll go for a world tour. That will sink you down. So इसीलिए have goals, but be realistic with yourself also. ठीक है जी? मैं एक दिन टाटा अंबानी बनूंगा नहीं यार, देखेंगे जो बन जाएंगे. I'll give my best. कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन. सो कर्म करने पे आपका अधिकार है, फल पे आपका अधिकार नहीं. फल हो सकता है मिल भी जाए, नहीं मिले कोई बात नहीं. फल के बजाय सब्जी मिल गई तो भी इट्स ओके. I did my best. So do your best and God will take care of the rest. ठीक है जी? अगला सवाल. नेक्स्ट.
प्रभु जी. हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी.
बोले जी।
मैं अनुज देहरादून से। प्रभु मेरा क्वेश्चन था कि मेरा जो रूल बनाते हैं डेली का वो पूरा नहीं हो पाता प्रभु। जैसे डेली का
रूल्स क्यों बना रहे हो? थोड़े अनरियलिस्टिक बना रहे हो अपने लिए। थोड़े से रियलिस्टिक गोल लेकर जाइए और देखिए उन गोल्स को फैसिलिटेट कैसे किया जा सकता है।
शेड्यूल जैसे प्रभु की 8-10 घंटे पढ़ेंगे वो हो नहीं पाता। फिर
कितना
10 घंटे सोचते हैं कि फिर 10 घंटे फिर
अनरियलिस्टिक है भाई। शुरुआत करो 3 घंटे से। रोज 3 घंटा पढ़ना है, फिर अगले महीने 4 घंटे पढ़ना है, उसके अगले महीने से 5 घंटे पढ़ना है। सीधे 10 घंटा सीधे मतलब सीधे मारोगे? ऐसे कैसे होता है भाई?
स्पिरिचुअल लाइफ और मटेरियल लाइफ में कैसे बैलेंस करें? फिर कभी कभी लगता है गलत कर रहे हैं।
अभी तो बताया उस्ताद, अभी भी बताया मैंने कैसे बैलेंस करना है। जरूर गज्जा खरबड़ी चल रही है, पक्की बात 100%। ठीक है जी, अगला सवाल। यस, नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन सोनाली शुक्ला माता जी। यस, बताओ जी।
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी, दंडवत प्रणाम।
हमारे हरे कृष्णा।
हरे प्रभु जी, sorry for asking you this question, but Prabhu ji, how to be a bindas person like you every time, all the time?
You become bindas by mercy. ठीक है जी। ब्रह्मभूत प्रसन्नात्मा न शोचती न कांक्षति। पर एक कब होता है? This happens by mercy. This happens by भक्ति। इसलिए आप बिंदास हो जाओगे। ये भक्ति जो रास्ता है, ये बिंदास बनने का ही रास्ता है एक्चुअली। ठीक है जी। न शोचती न कांक्षति, ना आपको हैंकरिंग होती है, ना लैमेंटेशन होती है किसी। Yeah, you are very jolly. This happens by मद भक्ति लभते प्रणाम। ठीक है जी।
Okay, Prabhu ji. Thank you, Prabhu ji.
So you are on the right path. One day you will become absolutely bindas. You are already bindas. You become 100% bindas one day. ठीक है? Don't worry.
But to interrupt, it's there are many questions now. Maybe in this session.
Okay, all right. So we'll stop here now. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna. Keep chanting. Keep
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much
for the wonderful
Hare Krishna.
session.
Thank you very much.
Just a minute, participants. Please log out मत कीजिए अभी 1 मिनट के लिए. I hope you have clicked the link for joining ISS first thing, and second, please go to the ISS YouTube channel, Institute for Science and Spirituality YouTube channel. Please go there. There are many videos, and also Amogh Lila Prabhu, there are many videos. Go there and please click on the subscription button and also the like button, please. So there are few announcements. Yes, Prabhuji, please go ahead.
Thank you. Hare Krishna devotees.
Really grateful to Amogh Lila Prabhu for taking out time and sparing almost 2 hours with us. We are so indebted to you. Thank you so much. Maybe in some future session we can hear something more enlightening.
Love for Prem Kishore Prabhu. That's it.
So thank you all. So just a few last, just 2 minutes of announcements. So as some of you know, we conduct such sessions every Sunday. So this was on core spiritual topic, and our main focus is on research on Vedic science. So in that line, we are having a few speakers in the coming days. So 6th, 13th, and 20th February, we'll having Mr. issdelhi. Is an acclaimed author on Vedic science. He has written many books on Vedic philosophy and science. So you can all be part of this wonderful discourse. Following that, we'll be having Dr. Kenneth Galpe, His Holiness Krishna Kshetra Swami. He's a scholar at Oxford Center for Hindu Studies. So we'll be having a podcast on approaching religion rationally. And then we'll have a wonderful discourse on 6 systems of Indian philosophy. As some of you might know, the 6 systems like Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Vedanta, all those 6 by Kamal Lochan Prabhu, which is a very renowned scholar in ISKCON. So then, as usual, as we did last year, we'll be having our international conference on 3S. 3S means simplicity, sustainability, and spirituality. Many of you might have attended last year. So in that line, we have great speakers already who have confirmed. Professor Ramesh Goel from Utah University, Professor Ravi Gupta from Utah State University, Professor Suresh Bhalla from IIT Delhi, Gauranga Prabhu from WADA GEV, Gopal T. Patel, representative in UN, and a Padma Shri awardee, organic farmer, organic educator and trainer, Bharat Bhushan Tyagi, and many more speakers yet to be confirmed. So stay tuned with us. You can submit your research papers, articles to us. And we also conduct short-term courses, ASPS, Art and Science of Practical Spirituality. The eligibility is for those who are in science background. If they want to understand spirituality scientifically, so they can give their names. They can fill the form. Earlier we mentioned in the chat box. So we conduct these 3 months certificate courses. So you can be part of this. And then this is our contact details. You can certainly visit our YouTube channel, and you will find more than 150 videos on science and spirituality, real core philosophical issues addressed. So you can take benefit of that. And in case you have any queries, you can still write to us, mail us, WhatsApp us. So thank you so much for your kind presence. So you can click on this link and be part of ISS and its activities. Thank you.
If anybody has any question about ISS, so you can ask now. We are here for 5-10 minutes more.
How can we attend the next session?
Yeah, are you part of our ISS Connect groups, or how did you get this information?
No, sir. I'm a part of Gita Joy.
Okay. So you can post your you can fill the form we just circulated, and we'll add you in our mailing list for your information.
Thank you, sir.
Writing the link once again, you can just fill in. We'll add you in our mailing list. Somebody saying that I'm learning web development. How can? Yes, certainly you have. We need many things to develop on website, and allied things. You contact us, so you can help us in that regard. So Saurav Rakode, you can send us your request on our mail or WhatsApp. So we'll be in touch with you. So anybody else? Any question?